3,000 Years of Longing is a 2022 fantasy romantic drama film directed by George Miller and starring Tilda Swinton and Idris Elba. Miller wrote the screenplay with Augusta Gore, adapting the 1994 short story The Djinn in the Nightingale's Eye by A.S. Byatt. Elba stars as a djinn who is freed by a professor and recounts his life to her. The film is dedicated to Miller's mother Angela, as well as Rena Mitchell, relative of producer Doug Mitchell. The film premiered at the Cannes Film Festival on May 20, 2022. It was released theatrically in the United States on August 26, 2022, by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and in Australia on September 1, 2022, by Roadshow Entertainment. It received generally positive reviews from critics, but was a box office bomb. Plot: Alithea Binney is a British scholar who occasionally suffers from bizarre hallucinations of demonic beings. During a trip to Istanbul, Alithea purchases an antique bottle, and accidentally unleashes a djinn that was trapped within it. The djinn offers to grant Alithea 3 wishes, so long as each one is truly her heart's desire, but Alithea argues that wishing is a mistake, accusing the djinn of being a trickster. In response to her accusation, the djinn proceeds to tell her 3 tales of his past and how he ended up trapped in the bottle. The djinn tells the story of the Queen of Sheba, his cousin and lover, being wooed by King Solomon, who imprisons the djinn in a bottle to keep Sheba for himself. The djinn's second story centers on Gultan, a young concubine in the palace of Sulayman the Magnificent. After finding the djinn's bottle, Gultan wishes for Sulayman's son, Mustafa, to fall in love with her and subsequently wishes to bear his child. Hurrem Sultan, a favored concubine of Sulayman, schemes to have her son on the throne, so she seeds Sulayman's mind with the idea that Mustafa will conduct a coup against him and he is too weak to lead the kingdom. The djinn tries to warn Gultan, but being naive and ignorant with the dirty politics within the ruling class, she ignores him. This results in Mustafa's murder, causing Gultan to leave behind the djinn's hidden bottle and flee. Despite the djinn's attempts to pursue and save her, the pregnant Gultan is also killed on Sulayman's orders before she can make her final wish. The djinn wanders the palace for over 100 years, invisible and intangible due to the concealment of the bottle. Meanwhile, the bottle is almost found by young princes Murad IV and Ibrahim, but they are unable to successfully uncover the bottle by their mother Kozem Sultan. Years later, Murad IV goes into war, where he becomes a vicious and ruthless ruler, later dying from alcoholism. Ibrahim develops a fetish for voluptuous concubines and becomes the new sultan. His favorite among them, Sugar Lump, accidentally retrieves the bottle, whereupon the djinn appears to her and desperately begs her to make a wish. Sugar Lump, being silly and terrified, thinking him to be a tricker, and wishes for the djinn to return to his bottle and for the bottle to be cast into the sea. In the djinn's final story, he tells of Zafir, the young wife of a Turkish merchant, who is gifted the bottle after it is recovered in the mid-19th century. Zafir wishes first for knowledge, which the djinn grants in the form of literature, and later to perceive the world as djinns do. Despite the djinn's growing affection for Zafir and the fact she is now pregnant with his child, she grows increasingly crowded by his presence and her newfound knowledge. The djinn offers to reside in his bottle whenever she wishes, but as he begins his return to the bottle, Zafir wishes to forget she ever met the djinn, leaving him imprisoned and unknown once again. The djinn's final story moves Alithea to the point where she wishes for djinn and herself to fall in love, resulting in them having sex. Afterwards, the djinn and Alithea travel back to London together. One day, Alithea discovers that the djinn is gradually becoming weaker due to the effects that the city's cell tower and satellite transmissions have when interacting with his supernatural physiology. She uses her second wish to get the severely ill djinn to speak again, apologizes for using her wish to deny them the chance to fall in love naturally, and uses her third and final wish to set the djinn free, so he is able to return to the realm of jinn. Though expecting never to see him again, the now healthy jinn visits Alethea 3 years later and periodically returns throughout her lifetime. Cast. Production. It was announced in October 2018 that George Miller had set his next directorial effort, described as epic in scope and expected to begin filming in 2019. Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton were announced as cast members the same month. The film is based on A.S. Byatt's short story The Jinn in the Nightingale's Eye. In a July 2019 interview, Miller said that pre-production would begin in late 2019, and that filming would begin on March 2, 2020, between Australia, Turkey and the United Kingdom. Filming was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic and began in November 2020 in Australia. Release. In May 2020, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer acquired the film's North American distribution rights, with Metropolitan Film Export and Sunac Culture handling distribution in France and China respectively. Roadshow Entertainment handled the Australian distribution, while Entertainment Film Distributors handled distribution in the United Kingdom. The film premiered at the 2022 Cannes Film Festival on May 20, 2022, where it received a 6-minute standing ovation. An activist protesting sexual violence perpetrated by Russian soldiers in Ukraine appeared at the premiere and stripped nude while screaming before being removed by Cannes security. The film's first trailer was also released that day. The film's scheduled release date of August 31, 2022, in the United States, was moved up to August 26. It was released in Australia on September 1, 2022. The film is set to be released for VOD on November 1, 2022, followed by a Blu-ray, DVD and 4K UHD release on November 15, 2022. Reception.